Okay. So Issa Amro, thank you very, very much for joining me. It's good to see you. If it's okay, I will ask you to introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you very much for inviting me to your show. I am very happy to be part and talk to your audience. My name is Issa Amro. I am a Palestinian human rights defender from the southern part of West Bank, from Al Khalil, from Hebron city. Hebron is around 30 kilometers to the south of Jerusalem, and it's the second holy city after Jerusalem, and it's the most important economical city in Palestine. And I live there. I grew up there. I was raised there. I studied my bachelor degree and master degree in Hebron. All my life is in this very, very, very beautiful city.
So the situation, fortunately, in the West Bank has been really quite tough, particularly in the South Hebron Hills. The news of the last 48 hours have been really just the last month and a half of pogroms against the Palestinian population, especially in rural areas, has been really incredibly violent. And then 2 days ago, Awdah Hathaleen got killed on screen. What is the general feel? How would you describe the general feel right now on the ground and around the area?
We in West Bank, we are suffering from Israeli occupation, from Israeli apartheid, and from Israeli terrorist settlers who attack us, attack our land, attack our animals, attack our property with impunity. What is the feeling now? It's the feeling of fear, the feeling of anger, the feeling of, we are very disappointed as a human rights defender that we lost one of our most important human rights defender in Palestine, Awdah Hathaleen. He spent his life for Palestine, for human rights, for his people. He spent his life talking to international volunteers, international solidarity groups. I know him since he was a child. He's really dedicated to make a change. That's the end of someone who tried to make a change. We all feel, as human rights defender, we feel that we are targeted by the Israeli occupation to be killed, to be arrested, to be tortured, to shut off our voices. They don't want to change the situation for better future for everybody here. They want to keep the occupation. They want to keep the apartheid. They want to keep the genocide. They want to keep the war on the Palestinians in Gaza and the war on the Palestinians in the West Bank. But they don't want us to speak. They don't want us to describe the reality we are living in. So the last 48 hours, we were mourning one of the best activists in South Mount Hebron. We are mourning the Israeli system, which, released the killer of Awdah and arrested his brothers, his cousins, and his neighbors. So the victims were punished and the oppressor was not. This is what happened, Martin, in 1948 and in 1994. After the Ibrahimi Mosque massacre, the Palestinians in Hebron were punished for being the victims of Baruch Goldstein. And now it's happening again and again and again. Since 48, 67, we are living from one sad day to another, from one hard day to another, from one war to another, one genocide to another, one massacre to another, one bad treatment to another, from losing one to losing another one. This is the reality of the Palestinian people who live under Israeli supremacy, Israeli occupation, and Israeli genocide and apartheid.
So there is something that is, I think it's extremely difficult for people that are outside to understand, and perhaps you can help me here, because it's really quite difficult for me as well. I just cannot quite figure out the degree of impunity. I mean, I saw the pictures of Yanon Levy after killing Awdah, and I saw him being released, Yanon Levy, and the guy's smiling at the cameras. I mean, I've seen the pictures, and we've been seeing them because there's been a lot of documentation about this. About it's not anymore that we're getting reports. We're seeing this stuff live. We're seeing this stuff live, and there seems to be absolutely no reaction. Not only no, I mean, the Israelis cannot be expected because this is apparently their thing. It's victimizing the Palestinian population of the area, but it's remarkable that there is no concerted international reactions to it. Is this something that in any way for you have things in any way changed? I mean, since the international community, perhaps also around, Masafariata, around the movie No Other Land, the fact that the eyes are on the West Bank, besides being in Gaza, and there is still nothing, there is no change in the situation. How do you explain that?
It's not about the settler, one individual act of unity. Israel is a state which violated the international law every day. Many countries discredited the international law to protect Israel. War on Palestinians, to protect Israeli leaders who are killing children, targeting children in Gaza. Around 20,000 children were killed in Gaza. 60,000 Palestinians until now were killed in Gaza. So the state of Israel is built on impunity. This is the point. And I'm not surprised because we, the Palestinians, see it, live it since a very long time. It's not new for us. Baruch Goldstein is a hero. His followers are the government now in Israel. Shamir, who bombed King David Hotel in Jerusalem, he became the Prime Minister of Israel. So this country is built on blood, on other people's blood, unfortunately. We want to make peace with Israel. We want to make peace with all the Jews in the world. For us, we distinguish between Jews and between Israeli leaders and Israeli government. Even we distinguish between normal, good Israelis who believe in peace and ending occupation and the other majority Israelis who are acting as white supremacists. If you go back to the white supremacy in the United States, they were behaving in the same way. If you go back to South Africa, the life of the black people didn't affect the West. The regime in South Africa was supported by the same governments, the same people now who are defending the Israeli crimes. This is something very important. But now, with social media and with documentation, which Palestinians are learning to do, to document more and more. To be very honest,
this is why I wonder. I mean, I just, what to me has become very visible, in Gaza especially. I mean, Gaza is probably a story that I follow every hour, really, is the fact that in Gaza had been in charge of documenting their own genocide. Which is really it's incredible. I mean, it's something that is really it's brutal. And, I do see the public around the West reacting, not the political parties, not the political leadership, but the public. But it doesn't seem to have an impact. It doesn't seem to have an effect. And that, to me, also shows that perhaps Palestine is where democracy in general, across Western Europe, across the US, across Latin America, has gone to die.
Martin, let's be positive. Let's us be positive. Many people are really changing sides. And many people are protesting the situation on the ground. And many people know more now and aware, and now they understand the reality of the Israeli occupation and apartheid. This is something very important. And to be very honest, there are a lot of good people all over the world are doing great work to make a change. Governments until now are acting according to their interest, not according to their principles and morals. We, the Palestinians, we want everybody on earth to act according to their principles and morals and
Right.
according to the
Yeah.
international law. And I
Yeah.
hope that the international law will be implemented on everybody, and to stop judging the victims and blaming the victims of the Israeli occupation and Israeli apartheid. Are we doing better? Much better. Is it going worse on the ground? Yes. But it's getting worse, but we are achieving a lot of really support to make the change. The peaceful, non-violence change is happening. It's look to the voices in Germany now. It's different now.
People are
Look to the
getting
voices
taken out of
more.
in the middle of the street, getting arrested in the middle of the street for
It's not
protesting.
only arrested. It's not only the visible support. There is a lot of community invisible support in Germany to Palestinian moral side. There are a lot of British, European, American, the majority of the Jews. This is something very important. The majority of the Jews outside
Yeah.
Palestine are against the genocide, are against the
I think that that's very
occupation.
clear.
This is the new. So the Jewish communities now all over the world, they are aware that this is not their project anymore. This is not what they should protect anymore. So it's the beginning of ending apartheid, ending occupation, and ending the Israeli supremacy. So this is what we pay a very high price, to be very honest. I say that we should not pay blood as a price. No, blood should not be,
Never. Yeah, no, I agree. And
of any price. This is something very important. Any blood, not only the Palestinian blood, any blood. All lives are very important. Human being is universal. We should protect the human being everywhere, regardless of their ethnicity, regardless of their origin, regardless of their beliefs. So the human being is holy. This is how we feel. But the world is changing. What we want now to do to transform the public opinion, the public support, the solidarity to political power and political support to push to implement the international law and make Israeli government accountable for their crimes. Who's Levy? I don't want to mention this guy, this Hitler who killed my friend Awdah. I want to mention the system which gave this Hitler the impunity to do it and to do it and to do it, and other settlers will do it. This is something very important. This is why we, the Palestinians, we are going on the ground. We are not giving up. We will we'll stay in the land. We'll stand firm in front of this injustice and inequality. And we are ready to pay very high price to make the change. We are changing the future of everybody from a future of violence and terror and inequality and injustice to a future of equality and justice for everybody and freedom for sure.
Issa, do you think there will be justice for Awdah?
We will do it. We will keep pushing, and we will not let them, escape from accountability. Awdah's blood is giving us energy to continue his struggle, his cause, his words of non-violence and peace and coexistence. Awdah had a lot of Jewish friends from all over the world. Awdah had a lot of Israeli friends and Palestinian friends, a lot of Christians friends, a lot of many friends from all over the world who believed in Awdah's struggle. And Awdah's name is written in the right side of history, and his family will be taken care of, and we will take care of his community, and we will continue, and we will not at all give up our rights or Awdah's cause at all.
It's remarkable to read and hear about Awdah from the people that knew him, because it really comes across in every single statement like a truly good man. Like a man that really was friends with everybody. The warmth of the talk is really, really remarkable. I wanted to ask you about Gaza. How is it being seen from Hebron, I suppose? How is it being seen from the West Bank? At this stage, after this much destruction, after this much death.
Martin, West Bank is bleeding. We live in a very bad life in West Bank. No jobs, no enough water, no enough electricity. We are suffering a lot. But the most suffering for us to see the Israeli jets bombing Gaza from West Bank. So I hear the jets when they go and bomb Gaza. Sometimes we see it because Hebron is very close. And we hear the bombing. We almost hear the voices of the victims asking for help. We hear their stomach asking for food. So the starvation, we live it, we feel it, because we are very close to them. The wind brings us their pain to feel it. So we are one nation. We are one people. We are one human being. So we are suffer a lot. Me personally, I have no normal life. And the majority of Palestinians, they have no normal, not because of what is happening to us from the Israeli soldiers and the Israeli occupation and the Israeli settlers. It's because of what we see in Gaza, what we hear from West Bank, that we are not able to help them, even to send them food. So this is no way to describe our feelings. This is very hard because you are far, you are in Germany, you see, we hear, we feel, we smell the wind, which mixed with blood and fear, and the blood is coming to us on the air to tell us, please stand up and don't give up our rights and help us and speak in our behalf. We see it. We see it every day. We live it. People don't sleep in the West Bank. People don't live a normal life in the West Bank. We see the next door is a massacre, a genocide, something undescribable. This is something very important. And they want us to close our eyes and close our mouths and not to talk about it.
It's remarkable. I mean, the suppression of journalists, the attacks against human rights defenders, the attacks against people covering the slaughter in Gaza, but also in the West Bank. It shows really a will to completely suppress and to completely silent, which is, I think, what you were saying. I mean, silent any kind of report, any kind of voice that says what they are actually doing. The situation in Jenin was also awful. I mean, was also almost the images look like images of Gaza in the northern West Bank.
Yes, it's the same occupation. It's the same oppressor. They kill everywhere. They destroy everywhere. They use violence and terror everywhere. The destruction of Gaza, we saw it in Jenin camp, in Tulkarim camp. We have 15 camps in the West Bank are raided almost every night. The same soldiers, they take shifts between Gaza and West Bank. They come to West Bank, then they go to Gaza, then they come to West Bank. The same killers, move between the two borders, between Gaza and the West Bank. And we are the same victims. We are the same victims. So really, the situation in the West Bank is really hard, but what is going on in Gaza, it's undescribable. This history, the history is repeating itself in Gaza. This is something very, very important. And we don't know what to say about Gaza. I don't know what to do for Gaza. We don't know how they will, go back to normal life after the war and after the genocide ends. Really, the situation in Gaza is undescribable. 2 million people are suffering from genocide, from starvation, from fear, from a lot of pain in their heads, in their bodies, in their minds. It's not easy to describe the pain of the people in Gaza. And the same oppressor is doing the same thing in the West Bank in a different level, in a different way, under the excuse of security, under the excuse of self-defense. Israel is not defending itself. Israel is defending its occupation. Israel is defending its illegal settlements according to the international law. Israel is defending its apartheid. This is the reality. This is the reality. This is something very, very important. Everybody on earth should know that genocide is happening in Gaza. The Gazans are starving. They have no food. Many people are dead in Gaza. And Israel is shutting off all the voices, is not allowing neutral international observers to go to Gaza. Around 250 Palestinian journalists were murdered They were killed. This is something very important to say it. In the West Bank, many Palestinian journalists were killed and hundreds were arrested. Journalism is not free now, even in Israel. Journalists, there is
Right.
censorship on Israeli journalists. My friend, Israel Fry, was arrested for a tweet and he was put in house arrest. He was arrested for 1 week. The killer of Awdah he was not arrested for 1 day. You know, imagine that my friend Israel Fry, who is against occupation, against the genocide, for writing a tweet, he spent 1 week in jail and now he's in house arrest. This is the difference of the treatment between normal, good Israeli Jew and the violent, aggressive terrorist Israelis. They are, you know, the government is supporting the extremism, supporting the terrorists, and arresting the good Israelis who are really trying to make a change.
Issa, how representative do you think that Israel Frey is of the Israeli public? I mean, do you really think are you optimistic about there being peace after what is going on in Gaza and after what is going on in the West Bank with Israelis?
I am always optimistic about peace. But the Israeli societies, according to her, it's 82% is supporting, you know, the transfer of the people from Gaza, you know, outside. And the majority of them are supporting the war. So the Israeli society is really sick in their beliefs.
So what do you think that happens afterwards when you know that, I mean, 47% according to St. Paul?
I believe in peace. I believe people will change. I believe that when the international community decides to make it costly for the occupiers, I think the Israeli society will come back to normal. Now they are so wild. But I know that one day after they pay the price for their apartheid, for their occupation, for their oppression, and for their genocide, I think the Israeli government will change and they will vote for peacemakers, not for war makers.
Can you forgive?
I will not forgive and I will not forget until I see a real better future for my people and for my child and for my you know, myself too, because you know, I was tortured, I was beaten, I was arrested, ill-treated. I don't live a normal life as a human rights defender, but I'm ready to forgive with a price of better future for everybody based on equality, justice, and freedom of everybody.
How old is your son, if I may ask?
My son is 13 years old.
My son is 6 years old. So it has been, as you can imagine, for any father looking at Gaza and looking at the West Bank, has been a pretty terrible thing to see, because I think that you see your children, right? I mean, but for you, it's actually your child in this situation.
To be very honest, I see all Palestinian children as my child. And I believe in that all children should be protected and should have better future. All children, all over the world, not only in Palestine and Israel. This is how we should act.
I agree.
This is something very important.
Most certainly. I want to thank you, and I really, really appreciate your time. Anytime you're welcome. I mean, I might bother you again. I hope you stay safe. And you know, my brotherly support to you. I mean, I really wish the best from person to person, really.
Thank you, Martin. I hope that we'll do concrete actions to make the occupation costly. I want to thank them for their support. I want to thank them for their solidarity. Every tweet, every post, every action, every protest, very helpful for us. You give us energy and protection, and we really want you to do more and more. Thank you very much, Martin. Thank you very much. You know, your beautiful audience.
You're very welcome, Issa.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye. You too.
Bye.